To Paul and his
Usually
points
not
which
that
he
way.
made,
So
and
I'm
the
going to give the
speaker
chance
before
to Kwame now. Go ahead,
Paul.
brother.
I do
Thank you
understand
very much,
both of
my
them
brother.
actually where they are coming from.
I hope you can hear me all
One
very
person to
well.
say the responsibility should be taken by the TPLF, and the other person
Thanks to Paul and
was
his
saying
points
the
which he made,
responsibility should be
and
taken
the speaker
by
before
imperialism,
Paul.
which is
I
pumping,
do understand
up the
both of them
TPLF and
actually
giving
where
it
they are coming
direction
from.
with weapons
Uh,
and
One
geopolitical
person to say
direction
the responsibility should be taken by the
on what to
TPLF, and
do,
the other
giving
person
them
should,
direction on what to do.
saying the
And I
responsibility should be
agree with both
taken
of them actually.
by
These
imperialism,
two are
which
not,
is pumping, up the
operating differently.
TPLF
Both
and
of them
giving
are
it
operating
direction
together.
and
The
weapons
interests of
and
the
geopolitical
United
direction
States cannot be removed
on
from
what
the
to do,
chaos that goes on
giving them
in the
direction
different
on what to do. And
regions.
I agree
It's
with both
almost
of them
like saying
actually.
that
These
what
two
happened,
are not,
the example we gave, what
operating
happened in
differently.
Libya
Both
when
of
the
them are
rebels
operating
started,
together. The interests of the
causing chaos in one
United
region of
States
Libya,
cannot be removed from the
Misrata,
chaos that
in
goes on
Misrata,
in the different
and then they were backed
regions.
by the
It's
United States.
almost like
It is,
saying that what
it
happened,
is easy to say that these
the
guys were
example
just
we
acting on
gave,
their
that
own.
what
They were
happened
not
in
acting on
Libya
their
when
own.
rebels
NATO
started,
was had organized them, had
causing
trained them
chaos
for,
in one region of
for
Libya,
some time, and
Misrata,
propped up
in
their desire
Misrata,
for power. And now
and then they were backed by
these
the United
7
States.
million
It is,
Libyans
you
who are
it is
Africans,
easy to
then
say that
other
these
Africans in
guys were just
sub-Saharan,
acting on their own. They were not acting
sub-Saharan
on their
Africa,
own.
the southern
NATO
part of
was
Africa,
had
they
organized them,
defected
had
because
trained
now
them
there's
for,
no jobs
for some
where many
time,
people have
and
to
propped up their
fall
desire for
into the
power.
sea.
And
So
now,
TPLF and the United States are
7 million
definitely
Libyans
working
who are
together,
Africans, and then the
together with
other
the
Africans in
European
sub-Saharan,
Union to destabilize
sub-Saharan Africans,
the
the
whole
southern part of
continent.
Africa
And,
have been
this is
affected because
very
now
simple.
there's no jobs
The
where to work.
economies,
People
their
have
economies
to
are
fall
are
into the
dragging
sea.
on. They
So
are not growing.
TPLF and the United
This is
States
the
are
problem which
definitely
we are seeing. And so
working
the
together,
control
together
of
with the
the
European
continent, as
Union,
you have
to
seen that Russia,
destabilize
China,
the
and
whole continent.
the
And,
Europeans now,
this
they are
is
in trouble.
very
And
simple.
China, to
The economies,
a
their
large
economies
extent, has been
are dragging
helping
on. They are not
Africa in
growing.
getting out of the
This is
trouble
the
it has
problem
been in,
which we
especially
are
the
seeing.
economic
And
trouble.
so the
And the
control
Europeans
of
and the
the
IMF,
continent,
they
as
really
you have
don't think
seen
that
that
Africa should
Russia,
get any
China,
help. Africa should
and the
remain a
Europeans now, they
farm
are in
where
struggle.
they come
And
to
China,
extract the
to
resources. They go
to a
and
large
build
extent, has
cars,
been
Ford cars,
helping
go and
Africa
build
in getting
Tesla
out of the
cars.
trouble it has been
What
in,
is happening? Go
especially
and
economic
build
trouble.
Boeing
And the
aircraft and
Europeans
bring it back
and
and
the
sell it to
IMF,
us.
they
And
really don't
the
think that
Africans are
Africa should
saying
get
that
any
we
help.
need
Africa should remain a
ourselves to
farm where they
build
come
these
to
things
extract the
by ourselves. We
resources
need to
and
develop
go and
Africa. We
build the
need to,
cars, Ford cars,
to
go
build
and
Africa by
build Tesla
ourselves.
cars.
And all those
What is
partners
happening?
who
Go
will
and
help
build
us, we
Boeing
will
aircraft
welcome
and
them.
bring it
And
back
this
and
is
sell
what
it to
we are
us.
seeing, that
And
the
the
Chinese are
Africans are
concerned
saying
about.
that we need
The Russians also
ourselves to
in security and form of
build
security.
these
The
things by
Europeans
ourselves. We
and
need to develop
the
Africa. We need
European
to,
ruling class. I will not say the
to
European
build
people
Africa by
or the
ourselves.
American
And
people,
all
but I
those
will say
partners who will
the
help
ruling
us, we
class
will
and the
welcome them.
oligarchs
And this
in
is what we are seeing,
the
that the
Western
Chinese have
capitals
been
in
coming in
Europe
to
and the
help.
United States.
The Russians
What they are
also
interested
in
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 is
security and
growing
form of
richer
security.
and
And
richer
the
and
Europeans
extracting
and
Africa more and
the
making it
European
more
ruling class. I will
like
not
a
say the
garden,
European
more like a
people
farm
or the
for
American
them, where they
people, but
build
I
their
will say
tech
the
companies.
ruling
So
class
anyone
and the
who
oligarchs
tries to help
in the
Africa
Western
develop in a
capitals,
way
in
to have
Europe
its
and the
own
United States,
industries and
what they
become
are
a fully
interested in is growing
developed,
richer and richer and extracting
continent
Africa
or
more and
country,
making
as
it
we want to
more
build it, as
like a
we in
garden,
Africa
more like
want
a
to build
farm
it.
for them, where they build their
That
tech
one is an
companies from.
enemy. And so
So
you see they are
anyone who
demonizing China
tries
now.
to help
So in
Africa develop
demonizing
in that
China
direction,
since
have its own
2020, now the
industries
IMF
and
has
become a
come back
fully
to give loans,
developed,
because for the past decade,
continent
the
or
IMF
country,
has
as
been
we want to
relegated to
build
the
it, as we
background.
Pan Africans
And China
want to
was the
build
major
it,
lender on the continent. And the continent was
that one is an
progressing.
enemy. And so you see they are
Roads,
demonizing
infrastructure being
China
built
now.
up, highways
So in
being built up on the
demonizing China
continent,
since 2020, now
stadiums,
the IMF has
airports
come
being
back
built up, a lot of
to give
infrastructure,
loans, because
dams.
for the
And the
past
IMF
decade,
is
the
angry about it.
IMF
The
had
Europeans
been
are angry
relegated to
about
the
this. You see,
background,
the
and
European
China was
ruling
the
class
major
and the
lender
American
on the
ruling class
continent, and
are
the continent was
very angry
progressing.
with China about this. So
Roads,
half the
infrastructure
time
being built
we
up,
all win.
highways being built
And
up
for
on the
them,
continent,
killing people
stadiums,
is not
airports being built up, a lot of
something
infrastructure,
that
dams and the
is a big
IMF
deal.
is,
We
is
have seen
angry
what
about
happened
it. The
in
Europeans
Panama.
are angry about this.
We
You
have
see, the
seen
European
what
ruling
happened in
class and
all
the
of
American
Latin
ruling
America.
class are
Millions of
very
people have died.
angry with
In
China about
Iraq
this. So
alone,
they have to
1 million
find
people,
means, all
1 million
means.
people
And
died.
for them, killing
In the
people
Rwandan genocide, while it
is
was
not
going on,
a,
France and the United
something that
Nations
is,
pulled out,
is a big
and
deal. We
instead
have
they were
seen what happened
instigating
in Panama.
more of the fight.
We have
You see,
seen
so
what happened in all of
the
Latin America.
killing because
Millions
of
of people
wealth
have died. In
in
Iraq
Europe and the
alone,
European
1 million
oligarchs is
people,
not
1
really
million people
a
died.
problem. So
In the
I
Rwandan
do
genocide,
agree
while
with
it was
both,
going on, France and the United
speakers,
Nations pulled
TPLF
out,
and
and instead they were
TPLF
instigating
and the
more of the
Western
fight.
ruling
You see,
class are
so
not
the,
different.
the killing
That they are
because of
working
wealth
differently. They are
in
all
Europe and
working
the
together
European
to
oligarchs is
destabilize
not
the
really
continent and
a
keep it
problem. So I do
completely
agree with
subjugated,
both,
to their interests. And this
speakers,
is what we have to
TPLF
fight. We don't have only to
TPLF
fight
and the
TPLF. We
Western
have to fight the whole
ruling class are
imperialist,
not different, that
group.
they are working
Just like
differently. They are all working
Chairman
together to
Omali Yashitela
destabilize
of the
the
African
continent and
Socialist
keep
Party
it
said,
completely
Africans have to be in the
subjugated,
lead
to their
in fighting
interests.
them.
And this
In
is what
fact,
we
this
have to
continent
fight.
has to be
We
built
don't
by
have
Africans,
only to
not
fight
you, not
TPLF. We have to
Europeans, not
fight the
Americans.
whole
No one should come
imperialist,
here to tell us what to do and what to
group.
build, how
And
to
just
build, who
like
to be friends
our
with.
chairman Omali Yashitela
Absolutely
of
not.
the
We
Africa
have to be
Socialist
in the
Party said,
driving seat of
Africans
building this
have to be in the
continent. We
lead
didn't go,
in fighting
the
their own fight.
Europeans
This
took us to
continent has to
build
be
their
built by
economies,
Africans, not
but
Chinese,
here
not
we
Europeans, not
have to be in
Americans.
the
No
driving
one should
seat.
come here
We
to tell
have to
us
be
what to do
in
and
the
what to
driving
build,
seat
how
in
to build,
building,
who to be
this
friends with.
economy in the African
Absolutely not.
continent.
We
So,
have to
in
be
the
in the
fight
driving
of
seat
anyone
of
who
building this
is an
continent.
enemy
We
to the
didn't
African
go,
people,
the
Africans have to
Europeans
be
took
in the
us to
lead.
build
We
their
know who
economies,
historically
but
has been
here
an enemy to
we
the
have to
African
be in
people
the
and
driving
served with
seat.
them.
We have to
When we
be
fought
in the
against
driving seat
the
in
British war
building,
against,
this
they came back
economy in
and
the
colonized
African
us.
continent.
When we
So in
won
the
against
fight of
colonialism,
anyone
again
who
they
is
came
an
back
enemy to the African
you
people,
know, cooked
Africans
up
have to
more
be in the
mechanisms
lead.
of
And we know
neocolonialism, and
who
they are backing
historically
who they
has
are
been an
destabilizing.
enemy to
So
the
we know
African people,
historically who has
enslaving
been
them.
our
When we
enemy.
fought
So
against
that
slavery,
enemy,
Haiti won
when we are
against it.
fighting
They
it,
came back and colonized
any
us. When we
or
won
any of the
against
European
colonialism,
people, any of
again
the
they came
American
back
people who
and
want to help us and
cooked up
want to,
more mechanisms of
end imperialism
neocolonialism, and
around
they
the
are
world
back
and the
here again. They are
destruction of the
disturbing
world,
us. So we
the
know
destruction
historically
of the
who has
world
been
and the
our
destruction of the
enemy.
environment,
So
and is
that
what has
enemy,
happened in the
when
last,
we are fighting him,
300, 600
any
years, has to
or
be
any of the
under the
European
leadership
people, any of the
of the
American
African
people
people
who want to
themselves,
help us
because
and want to,
leading the
to end
continent
imperialism around the
into
world and the
destruction
destruction
and
of the world,
extraction and
and the
impoverishment
extraction
of
of
the
the world
people,
and the
all
destruction of
that
the
has been
environment,
under
as what
the
has happened in the
European,
last,
ruling
300,
class and
600
elites
years,
who have been
has to
cooking up
be
structure
under
against
the
us
leadership
and all
of
those
the
things which
African
will
people
destroy our
themselves,
people and
because
impoverish our people. So
leading the
it is
continent
crucial that we
into
as a
destruction
people,
and
as African people, not
extraction
only
and
the end
impoverishment of the
here in
people,
speaking
all
about
that
these
has been
things
under
on these
the
platforms,
European,
but we go
ruling
ahead
class
and
and
continue to
elites who
organize
have
an
been cooking up
offensive, because
structural
what I believe
adjustments
is
and
that
all those things which have destroyed our
imperialism
people
lost
and
in the
impoverished
first
our people.
round
So
to
it is
in
crucial
this
that
struggle to
we
the
as a
normal
people,
movement.
as African people,
It
not
started
only
with the
we end
propaganda.
here
It
in speaking
lost.
about these
Number one.
things on these
Then it came to
platforms,
the region to
but
divide
we
the region
go
so that
ahead and
Ethiopia
continue
can
to
be
organize
isolated.
an
And
offensive,
then
because
the
what I
Prime Minister
believe is
Abiy
that
made the right moves. He
imperialism
was in the
lost in
region
the first
while
round to,
Abdul Fattah
in this
Sisi of
struggle to
Egypt
the
was
normal
in
movement.
Washington with Trump.
It started with
The
the
Prime Minister
propaganda.
Abiy was in
It
the region,
lost.
moving through
Number
Uganda,
one.
moving through
Then it came to
Rwanda,
the
moving
region to
through
divide the region so that
Kenya.
Ethiopia can be isolated.
He was
And
gathering all
then
this
the Prime
support. He
Minister
was
Abiy
soliciting
made
for
the
all this
right
support. He was
moves. He
speaking to
was
the
in the
Democratic
region
Republic of
while
Congo, and so he
Abdul
got
Fattah
all
Sisi
this
of Egypt
support.
was
So
in
by the time
Washington with
Blinken
Trump.
came to
The
Kenya,
Prime
came
Minister
to
Abiy was in
Senegal,
the
came
region, moving
to
through
Nigeria
Uganda,
to
moving
try
through
to
Rwanda, moving
isolate
through
Ethiopia.
Kenya.
Already, African support for
He
Ethiopia
was
was there.
gathering all
So the
this
second
support. He
round,
was
they lost
soliciting
it.
for all this support. He
The third
was
round
speaking
of
to the Democratic Republic
misinformation
of Congo,
that
and so he got
TPLF, which
all
is
this
80
support.
miles,
So by
80
the time
kilometers away
Blinken
from
came to
Addis
Kenya,
Ababa, is
came to
taking,
Senegal,
they
came
lost that one.
to
So
Nigeria
now
to
what
try
they are
to
doing is
isolate
recycling the
Ethiopia.
same methods,
Already
the same
African support for
imperialist
Ethiopia
methods.
was there.
So when
So the
you
second second round they lost it. The third round of misinformation that TPLF was miles, 80 miles, 80 kilometers away from Addis Ababa is taking off. They lost that one. So now what they are doing is recycling the same methods, the same imperialist methods. So when you see what happened with this, is that they were trying to manufacture some other misinformation that children are being killed, and this is a strategy which was used even in Libya, even in Iraq. Before they attacked Iraq, they came up with pictures at the UN with a girl who was prepared, to lie that Saddam was killing people. Saddam was killing children. They were pulling them from hospitals and dropping them. So this is the same book they are reading from. This is the same strategy they wanted to use in Ethiopia. So we have to understand all these and then fight back in the right way, because now we have the tools. Imperialism is at the weakest point, is at its weakest point, and we have everything necessary. And I can tell you, like one speaker said, that Ethiopia will prevail, but most of Africa has to prevail. That is the most important, because if Ethiopia prevails, these guys, they will go at the back and sit in Sudan or in Egypt and wait for Ethiopia to be weak in a certain way, to make mistakes, and they will come back and attack. But we have to push them out of Africa. We have to fight them. So that is my message. My message is that we have to fight together as Africans in winning this. They just ended 35th ordinary session of the African Union. The Prime Minister Abe gave a speech, and he said that if it was not, we understand that if it was not for the support of our African brothers, Ethiopia would have been consumed. You see, so he understood, and he's making the right move. Recently, he has re-engaged the region. Which are the right moves that he's making? He's been, to Uganda. He's engaging Uganda because imperialism wanted to create some suspicion that Uganda was sponsoring the TPLF. So for me, my intuition told me that if I was an advisor to the Prime Minister, I would tell him that he should not create a wedge between Uganda and Ethiopia. Rather, he should re-engage. He should engage and go in and find out what is happening. And this is exactly what he did. He went to Uganda and he re-engaged to try to find out the problem. Are they really sponsoring these rebels, or it is just imperialist propaganda? And all it is imperialist propaganda, because at the beginning, Uganda stood with Ethiopia. Remember the first place the Prime Minister went was Uganda before he went to Rwanda and went to Kenya. The Prime Minister Abiy went to Uganda. So they wanted to create that wedge and friction between, the Africans. As you know, they thrive on divide and conquer. So these methods, once we master them as Africans, then as we have mastered them in the past, like I said, the first 3 rounds, imperialism has lost them, because we have mastered these methods, of deception and destabilization. So if we have mastered them, then definitely we should be in a position to go on the offensive. We should stop being on the defensive. We have to go on the offensive, and going on the offensive, we have to go as Africans, as Pan-Africans. Being Pan-Africans means going as Africans to confront imperialism. That means all our forces, we have to consolidate them, and then we have to consolidate them together with the progressive governments on the continent. And then imperialism will be no more. It will not be anymore, because it is in a whole lot of big trouble right now. Economically, they are in trouble. Economies are shrinking. They do not have the money. You see, so all these things which they are saying they are giving aid, these are lies. We know them that they are lies. They are not giving any aid. They are coming to steal more and to cause more chaos so that they can create space to steal. So I want to thank you, everyone who is on the line, and sorry for that I spoke for so long, but the war is going to be won, but it has to be won